In the name of God, hello everyone, and with the permission of all the dear people here, especially Dr. Tagipur that gave us the pleasure to be here with us in this conference. We have two topics here and we have divided them. Some of our successful experiences in AI data exchange that I'll present, and the things that have happened in 10 or 12 years ago, and some problems and challenges that we have in that area will be presented by my friend Dr. Sabri. Our story begins from the year 90. We had a native search engine and native translation engine that were really trendy in those years. Lots of things happened in those years, and some of them were happening for the first time, and they provide us lots of successful experiences. The native search engine itself was not successful. 32 projects that were launched in that plan, all of them failed except just two of them, and all other projects were shut down and forgotten. Now, we are not talking about issues like political, economical, and cultural issues that made that plan to fail. Here we are talking about data and the open source and sharing the data. Targoman machine translation engine goes back to the year 88 when the ICT administration decided to create a machine translation engine at the same time with Google, and the Google just launched their English to Persian translation. We started this at the same time with the world. Statistical translation was trend in the world and it was not commercialized, and we started that in Iran. Statistical translation is the grandfather of today's translation engines, LMs and LLMs, and transformer models, and before that LSTMs. The best thing for all of these is the bilingual corpuses. Machine translation does not need language, it just needs translated text for doing its thing. So we needed to have bilingual reliable text. In our plan, one of the first things that we did was creating 10 million words at the form of a bilingual corpus, golden corpus, that was open source and public, and made machine translation, statistical translation, and after that neuron translation and deep learning could use it after that. And next project, this was always in our mind. And eventually, in the three projects that we had in developing machine translation, we had 50 million words bilingual high-quality text, and we made it open source and public. In search engine development, for example, the corpus that Parsi and Use created based on Parsigon, which was a website in that time, that was open source and public. Parsigon was shut down after some time, and the corpus is in research center and you can have access to it based on correspondence. If we want to look at it as a project generally, we cannot call it a failure. Lots of projects were shut down, but the knowledge sedimentation that they had and the expertise sedimentation that it provided the staff and the team of those companies. One of the products that was supported in search engines led us to creating a Ballet application. If that wouldn't happen, maybe we would not have any Ballet today. After this case, one of the other things that happened in this case, in Targoman, we were one of the first, or maybe still the first, collaborative contract of IT in the history of country. Targoman and Virafsar Adan worked on a collaborative contract for developing machine translation, and this contract was not in consortium. I emphasize on this because in AI and software, one of our problems is that money is not the only thing, but it's a part of our whole thing. The IP, intellectual property, that the asset, the unseen asset that gets formed makes value. If it was consortium, it would be like the other projects that always fail, or even become successful after that, but they would not continue working. But a collaborative team that can work on the zero from banking account to insurance and tax. We've done an example of this, and the outcome of that collaboration was the Farazin and Targoman translation engines. And now, even with the progress of LLMs, still these two engines have customers, and people, instead of using Google, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, they are paying for these websites, and this is one of the great achievements, that people are paying for something native Iranian instead of using something free. Another thing that was done in this area of success stories, it was a long time that GPUs like A100 was in country in the CMOF project of Amirkabir University, but they did not have operator. It was more than 1 year that they were gathering dust in Amirkabir University, and some minor experimental stuff was done. We proposed to the Progress Transformation Center of Presidency and Deputy of Science and Digital Economy that let's use these GPUs that are national assets and treasury. Let's do something with it that has public profit. If it's not profitable for companies to invest on these or to develop national LMs or LLMs, let's do something that has profit for all the people. And this is one of the rare conditions that for complete rival companies, Targoman, Dogmatic, Part, and Asraf Navari Danish, that had similar products, they were in NLP and they were rivals, they collaborated in a form of a collaborative team without even getting 1 real from the government, and with great prices, around 4 billion tumans the companies paid. They just got process infrastructure from the government, and other expenses like creating corpus or human resources and education was by them, and they developed native language model. These companies are working on different language models in their businesses. Part has released 2 models after that. Targoman is working on machine translation. Dotmatic has produced Chatyar, and Asraf Navari Danish was working on legal and religious areas. All of these were the outcome of this collaborative project that again was outcome, and everyone got its profit. This shows that if the government invests correctly and does not just spend money, we can get results and public sector can handle the job. One of the most important results of this project was the mass corpus of Targoman, which is Persian web crawling. It's structured, and unlike other corpus that are simple text, it's structured and categorized, and it includes 45 billion tokens. Biggest Persian corpus before this was the corpus from Asseguish Pardas, which was 15 billion tokens. This 45 billion tokens includes Persian webs, and we can increase it to 100 billion tokens for the area of crawling public groups and channels of native messaging apps that we are waiting for permit of publication. We have already done the crawling. These models, these open source models, these collaborative groups models, the models that without imposing costs on public treasury and government, they are the models that the outcome and the results of them are good for everyone. I won't make it long here, and the address is here, and the people that are working on natural language models and LLMs can have access to it. It's completely free, and we have provided the access, commercial access to it for free. Then all Iranian knowledge enterprises can have access to that. All the good things were said here, and the bad parts are gonna be on Dr. Sabri. Thanks.